Every single time that I have doubted the feeling in my gut or I've second guessed it, I've always regretted it. Always regretted it. And this is a really good example right here. So, as many of you know, I used to own a private pet care business. That was my bread and butter for almost 8 years. And then I sold that business before I ran for Congress. Um, I I served something like 1,100, 1,200 pets, individual pets, by the time I sold my business. And a huge reason for that was because I ran my business in 3 different cities. The repeat clients that you will get if you live in just one city, specifically with pet care, you wouldn't necessarily see. At least I didn't. I had so many repeat clients, but because I moved my business and because I was I mean, come on, this is how I make my money. So I'm gonna go in, jump in 2 feet first. I'm a hustler. Like, I know how to make money, and there's no plan B. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to go all in. So what I'm getting at is that you learn to trust your gut, you learn to develop a sixth sense, and you learn how to read people. You learn how to communicate. You get better at things. And again, the only times that I've really kind of gotten myself into a pickle, if you will, is when I've second guessed my gut. So perfect. I'll give you 2 examples. So first, as soon as I crossed this threshold, I knew that I could sense that something was off. So this woman, I'll just call her, she was a leather bag. That's what I'll call her. Just a saggy, weathered leather bag. And she reached out literally less than 48 hours before she was getting ready, before she was going to leave on her trip. And she had a diabetic cat. Cat needed injections twice a day. So not everybody can do that. Obviously, you're seeking a more specialized service. And again, I sensed something was off the minute I stepped into this woman's home. I should have turned around and walked right out, but it was a really busy weekend. Again, just for the sake of the story, it was actually Pride weekend in San Francisco, and that same weekend I was going to be meeting my then boyfriend's friends, and he was going to be meeting my friends, all in the same weekend. And yeah, the only reason I'm giving you all those extra details is that it was a really busy weekend. So I don't normally have a car, but I rented a car this weekend to have, and specifically to serve this woman in her neighborhood, because the cat had diabetes, needed injections. I wanted to be able to appropriately accommodate this cat's needs. So again, immediately I sensed that something was off, and this woman was very, when I say suspicious, like, listen, when you're hiring someone to take care of your house, when you're hiring someone to literally sleep in your bed and take care for your pets, there's a certain level of trust that goes with that. Technically, I could rummage through all your shit and rob you blind, okay? However, there's these things called Ring cameras nowadays. I've also been, at this point, doing this for, 7-8 years. I have over 100 5-star reviews across multiple platforms, and that counts for something, okay? That counts for something. Also, the platform that this woman booked me on, not only do they have their own liability, right? Their own insurance policy, but it's like, anyway, we'll get to that. You can review me, just like everyone else has reviewed me. And the biggest reason why I regret taking this, even though, again, it was a weekend where I was kind of in a pinch and I needed the extra work. The biggest reason I regret is that this remains the only non 5-star review that I've gotten in pet care. The only one. Tourism's different, but pet care, nah. I know what the fuck I'm doing. So anyway, again, this woman's energy was off, and she was just really, again, overly suspicious of me. And I should have just turned around and gone, you know what, this isn't going to work. And I just kind of dismissed it in my head. She said that her father passed away and she was going back to Florida for his funeral. So immediately I said, okay, maybe that's it. Maybe her energy is just really off because her father passed away. So fast forward to the first evening that I'm supposed to spend the night there. Just in a nutshell, just so you guys understand what a busy weekend this was. Friday, I had 4 tours back to back. One of those was a tour I was launching for the first time, the very last one. 4 tours back to back. So I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it was something like 9 to 11, 12 to 2, 3 to 4, 5 to 7, like back to back to back tours. So again, I needed that car, right? I don't give more than 2 tours in one day. If you've been on one of my tours, you know how much I give 110%. You know that. Anyway, it's not about that. So I'm driving to this woman's house. I think she's left like at 6:30. So it hasn't even been 2 hours that this woman's gone. And she sends me a text. You know what she says in the text? She says, hey, just so you know, I don't remember exactly what the wording was, and I'm really trying to remember exactly what she said, but the gist of it was, we have Ring cameras, so basically don't think you can get away without spending the night, or we're watching you, basically. And I was floored. I was absolutely floored. Y'all, I've taken care of the homes of billionaires before. I live in San Francisco. I ran my business in Beverly Hills, in Santa Barbara. Okay. I have had like clients, people that actually owned their homes, and you know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm not saying any of this to flex, but like, who the hell are you? You just left 2 hours ago, not even, and you're already sending me threatening messages. And in my head, I'm thinking, like, my heart just sunk, and I'm like, oh boy, this is gonna be a fun weekend. So anyway, proceed with the sit. Take care of this woman's house. Made sure to let her know that I was even renting a car to be able to accommodate her and her cat, her diabetic cat, while she was gone. So the sit, again, the weekend's over, the sit ends, and I immediately blocked this woman and her husband. I want nothing to do with them. They're incredibly rude to me. They don't hesitate to let me know several times throughout the sit that they're watching me, and that's just not what I'm about. I've been doing this long enough to know that, yeah, I should never have taken these people on as a client. So this person, again, left me my only non 5-star review, and claimed that I stained her tile with grout. The grout on her tile, I stained it with hair dye. Do I look like I use hair dye? I guess you can't really tell that, but the thing is that because of how much she was watching me, I never showered at her house. So that was a blatant lie. And I responded accordingly. That's the thing that people don't understand about reviews. You think you're going to dump your review and run away. No. You get to respond. So I clapped. It was professional, but I definitely responded accordingly. And I left a note for future sitters. Like, this is someone you may not want to work with because they're very difficult to work with. They are overly suspicious. And I just don't think that that's a good combination when you're hiring someone to literally take care of your pets in your house. So the other time that I'm thinking of that immediately comes to mind, I won't even say either of the neighborhoods where this took place. This was a gay guy. They were a couple. I never met the other guy, but same thing. As soon as I crossed the threshold, immediately I could just sense that something was off. And the guy was really friendly. Was the thing. And his energy was so bad that I couldn't meet his eyes. And the only thing I knew how to do was kind of like, play with the dogs, play with the dog, play with the cat, because the guy was just his energy was so bad. That's the only way I can describe it. And this is something that you develop as an entrepreneur, y'all. The only way I know how to describe it. And again, I ignored my gut. And I remember leaving this with I always ask people what previous pet sitters have done that they don't like. I make a point of asking that, like, you know, so that informs how I can best provide my services. So this person goes into this huge horror story of this person that they hired, and he mentioned, he was like, you have really high ratings and you're very skilled, complimented me. And I was like, oh, thank you. He's like, yeah. He's like, that's why you're here, pretty much. So we exchanged numbers, which not everybody does. Some people are really weird about giving you their personal number, which, I'm only staying in your house, I'm sleeping in your bed, and you're weird giving me your number? Okay, how does that work? Weird. But anyway, we exchanged numbers, and I feel like we had a really solid gentleman's agreement that if they went with another sitter, that they would let me know. So I consider this, I was saved by the bell, saved by the universe, because I remember getting a notification, not even like that same day, I got a notification saying that they booked with another sitter. And I thought to myself, so perfect, get out of jail free card. I already felt that this guy had really bad energy. So the fact that they didn't book me, perfect. I dodged a huge bullet. But the fact that you didn't bother to tell me, and that I had to find that out by the app, and that you didn't bother to send me a text like you said you would, yeah, nah, I'm not working with you. Never. And never. And I'm glad that it didn't happen. So folks, trust your gut. In business, as an entrepreneur, in relationships, you have a sixth sense. And the people that tell you that or the people that make you judge that, or that second guess it, and try to in any way make you doubt your gut, stay as far away from those people as possible.